Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live will be your go-to for all your favorite high school and collegiate games this fall. From the Carver Tigers to the Columbus Blue Devils, the Harris County Tigers and Northside Patriots, the Glenwood Gators and Calvary Christian Knights, the Pacelli Vikings and Brookstone Cougars, to the Smith Station Panthers and Russell County Warriors, from CVCC, Pirates basketball and baseball, and every tournament from here to Macon. We are the #1 destination for anything happening in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and stay tuned for even more amazing ways we will be bringing Georgia, Alabama Sports Live to you this upcoming season. We can't wait to come see you next. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, part of our Wednesday night lineup. We got office hours, the Glenwood Coaches Show, and more. Man, what a time to be alive, and I'm super excited about today's show, man. So it should be a lot of fun, and can't wait to dissect everything that's going on around the wonderful world of sports here, locally, regionally, and nationally.
Great time to be a sports fan in the Fountain City. I can't believe tomorrow is going to be the first day of May. And wow, the baseball season, soccer season, all the spring sports wrapping up. And we kind of can take a little bit of a break, but there's really no break. There's no off season. We still got a lot of sports going on.
Yeah, exactly right, man. So can't wait to chop it up. And then, of course, coming up here in the next hour, we got Inside the GIAA you're going to want to tune into as well. So got a jam-packed show for you. We're presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Gordy Eye Care, and Kinetic Credit Union. Great lineup, great people, great job by our sponsors that have been involved with everything that we've done, and we got some great news we're going to be dropping here for you today. All right, so let's go ahead and get into what we got coming up the rest of this week. We'll start there, Richard. Obviously, tonight we got a bunch of shows. Tomorrow, how about this, Big Rich? It's playoff baseball, baby. We're going on the road. Chris Gates, MVP. He's going to Montgomery.
Crazy Chris.
Crazy Chris in his Waffle House. He'll probably stop on the way back.
He's going to stop at Buc-ee's.
Or Buc-ee's. Good point, Rich. Glenwood Gators are on the road taking on St. James. For those that don't know, St. James is a team out of Montgomery that really good team, been a top 5, top 3 team all year long, a perennial under Coach Lucky, a really good AHSA baseball program that takes stuff seriously. Coach Bennett knows what he's in store for. We talked about it today on the Coaches Show. This is probably going to be one of the first times in the last couple of weeks, really going back to that Lee Scott game, Richard, 3 weeks ago, in which it's not going to be a blowout. Every game since then has been an absolute smoke show. So I asked him, are you a little bit worried that you haven't played a lot of close games in the last couple of weeks? He says he is, but he knows his guys are battle-tested, so they'll be on the road. The reason why they're on the road, because the AHSA does things differently. They do their standings number 1 and number 2 in the area, and then they just match them up accordingly. Now, here's the thing. As you keep moving further in the playoffs, guess what, Richard? It's who's at the top of the bracket gets to host, and that's if they're both number 1 seeds. If they're both number 1 in their area, who's at the top of the bracket, or whoever traveled the farthest. Well, here's the thing. St. James traveled farther than Glenwood because they were on the road last week. So now that means Glenwood has to travel on the road to a 2 seed because they were in the same area as Prattville Christian, the number 1 team in AHSA 3A, Richard. So they're going to be on the road, but I think this team has everything it needs to travel well. The Gator fans travel well, and we're going to have it on the NFHS network. 5:30 is first pitch, $12 to be able to watch both games. That's very affordable. for all the Glenwood fans, make the travel. If you can't, watch on the NFHS network, Richard. But obviously, Glenwood's the better team. But Coach Fanning knows if they come out slow, St. James the type, if they overlook them, trying to think about Prattville and Lee Scott for next week, Richard, they can be beat. And he knows that his team, fully battle-tested, experienced, and they feel like they got the right mindset, great week of preparation as they take on St. James.
I think that Glenwood has all the confidence to get this series because not only do they have the starting pitching in Mason McCrane and Tyler Sykes, they also have Logan Henderson. They got Nick Torres. Levi Pender can pitch a couple innings. They have depth at pitching, but they also have just a dangerous lineup, and it starts with the top of the order with Mason McCrane. You also have players like Carter Judah, Levi Pender, Cal Lawrence. I mean, you got some dangerous hitters in the lineup. This Glenwood team is playing their best baseball at the right time. And I'm excited to see this action against St. James. We don't want to overlook St. James, but we do know that Lee Scott Academy has taken on Prattville Christian on the other side of the bracket. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? But, yeah, Glenwood getting to the quarterfinal. And I'm excited that we are able to live stream this game on the NFHS network because the AHSAA has strict rules about live streaming. But they have allowed us to get the rights because St. James does not live stream on the NFHS as a school. So we got special permission from the athletic director from St. James to live stream this game on the NFHS network.
Yeah, we do. And appreciate you, Richard, helping me facilitate that. And that will be again tomorrow at 5:30. All right, now let's talk about what else we got. We have gotten confirmation. Thank you to Nick Nottleman and Chad Mathis. We will be broadcasting the Columbus High Crifts County. Shout out to our guy, Justin, the Dark Side Newman, who will be watching as a new football coach over at Crifts County Bridge.
He reached out to me.
He reached out last week if we were going to do the one when they played against Shaw. It's going to be a really good series. I know they're the 22 seed, Crifts County, and Columbus is a 6. Throw out the seeds, throw out the rankings, Richard. These two teams are very evenly matched, but I'm excited about it. And thank you to Columbus High for wanting us to be there and wanting the game to be on our platform. Richard, you're going to be doing both games. You're going to be knocking it out the park. Cannot wait for you to be there and soar for that. I know you're excited. You're really You've called a lot of games at Columbus High the last couple of years. You know Nick Nottleman. You know his son Michael Nottleman, who I think is if he didn't play the same position as Mason McCrane, I would put him as the best first baseman in our area, and Sam Brown as well. I mean, he just plays a position that is pretty top-heavy with the amount of talent that other people in the area, other players in the area play for their teams at that position. But excited. Chris in Columbus, kind of break that down for us. 4:30 is first pitch, and then 30 minutes after we'll have the second one.
Well, before I get into the games itself, I want to thank Nick Nottleman for allowing us, as president of the Booster Club for Columbus High Baseball, allowing us to live stream. He gave me game notes. He's been very approachable and very supportive of what we do. And they broadcast the game on the NFHS network last week, and he did a great job. He has so much passion and so much knowledge for Columbus, and I'm just excited and honored that we get to live stream this game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So I just wanted to throw that out there first. But now to the game. Crifts County, this is a team that they're familiar with because remember, last year they were both in the same region in 3A. Crifts County was there with Thomasville and Doherty and Monroe. Last year, Crifts County was the 3 seed, and the regular season games, the last couple of years, Crifts County has lost all 4 games to Columbus. So they know this team, and they are trying to get the upset win because it would be an upset win because Columbus is the 6th seed and Crifts County is the 22nd seed. But as you know, Crifts County athletics, and you talk to the new head football coach, Justin Newman, the former defensive coordinator from Carver, they are passionate about athletics over there in Cordele. I know that Coach Newman now supports the baseball team at Crifts County. He actually got me in touch with the baseball coach, and so I was able to get stats from the coach because they don't put it on Max Preps. So we're going to have a great broadcast. We're hoping that the community of Cordele can watch it on our platform. And remember, this is the only team remaining in Muskogee County that's a public school and they are in the second round. Columbus got to the second round last year. They're trying to further that and at least get to the quarterfinals like they did 2 years ago. But I'm excited because, Columbus, even though they had a very good region record, they've got some great ball players. Michael Nottleman, great pitcher and hitter. He's leading the team with 4 home runs, and he also has a sub-2 ERA. And then Caden Bryans. What can you say about the leadoff hitter that's leading the team in batting average? And I could just go down the list. I don't want to name all the names because I was going through my stats, for my pregame for the broadcast for tomorrow. A lot of great hitters with a good batting average. They're disciplined at the plate. But, yeah, it starts with their number one starter, Michael Nottleman, which I think is going to pitch game 1. And then after that, they might throw R.J. Griffin. They might throw Daniel Miller. I mean, they got some good pitchers after Nottleman. But Nottleman's your ace. You have got to get game 1 like they did against Sonoraville when they won it 1-0. I think that if Columbus can get game 1, they got all the confidence in the world to go ahead and close out that series.
All right, so from Columbus High, we can't wait for that, Richard. Should be a lot of fun. 4:30 on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, 30 minutes after. And they're even going to take care of us with food. Listen, we are so appreciative of Chad Mathis, Nick Nallman, the entire Columbus High Booster Club, and the fans for being supporters of ours. We're going to continue to support all the programs around here, and we really do appreciate you wanting to be on our platform. I promise you, we're going to make it worth your while. We cannot wait, Richard. I know you're super excited. You're going to be having one heck of a call. Okay, also coming up tomorrow, we got Glenwood, we got Columbus, we got Calvary Soccer ending. Brookstone moved their game from Friday to now Thursday, so we won't be able to get it because of everything else we got going on tomorrow. So, unfortunately, we won't get their final home game, but we will get them in the playoffs as they are looking like going to be the number 2 seed and host and have first round bye and then host the quarterfinals and semifinals if they win those 2 and then be back in the state championship, Richard. So, we'll be there for that entire playoff run. Can't wait for that. Also, coming up on Friday, we got Pacelli hosting a doubleheader against Strong Rock. And then we got Calvary taking on Heritage on Friday. And then again on Saturday, we're not going to get the Saturday. That's on the road, but home Heritage Senior Night on Friday night. And then CVCC Baseball, Big Rich, is going to be having their final 2 games of the season. If they take care of business like they should, which is win today against one of the worst teams in the league and win both on Saturday, I think they're going to be right back in the playoffs. And that's exactly where you want to be if you're Coach Hunter Vick and all the injuries you've had to overcome this year. We're cheering on for CVCC. Speaking of CVCC, Richard, I know you had a lot of fun just like I did being at the Lady Pirates ring ceremony yesterday. How about that? The Lady Pirates basketball team in the championship ring, revealing their banners for winning a state championship and then winning the district championship and making it all the way to the mega tournament that was held in Missouri. So great job by Coach Richardson and staff. Thank you to Ashley Landy, Dean Taylor, President Screws for allowing us to be the home of CVCC Athletics, and had a lot of fun yesterday unveiling the banner, seeing the rings, and just being part of that incredible ceremony.
Yeah, it was just a great, special event for the CVCC community. Even Mayor Eddie Lowe from Phoenix City was there.
Proclamation.
Yeah, he's doing the proclamation. We had WRBL, we had WTVM. They provided food, and we just had a great time. And just to see what the championship rings look like. And they're also going to have a billboard that's going to be in Phoenix City. So they're going to have a billboard, championship rings, the 2 banners, one for winning the state championship and one for winning the Gulf South championship. And that's going to be displayed in Key Hall.
Yep, it is. And thank you again for them allowing us to be there. Now, let's recap some of the things that just happened, Richard, which includes Harris County and Northside are both done. The Northside Patriots took on the number 1 team, Blessed Trinity, and honestly, neither one of the games were close for both teams. You saw Alatoona, who's 31-3, ranked number 3 in the state, and Blessed Trinity, who comes in ranked number 1. They just were too much. And honestly, if you put Northside and Harris County in any other classification, I think they're both could be semifinal teams. The problem is they play in the toughest classification in the entire state, and then they took on 2 of the best teams in the entire state. They got Division I prospects all over the field. Just a lot to overcome, but great seasons. 24-10 for Northside's Tracy Powell in year 1, making it to the second round, and 23-11 is Harris County making it to the second round in year 2 of Tony Dimitri. What can we say about them? Great job for this year, and both of them are building for the future and expect the big things out of them next year, but they both come up short against two of the best teams. It's not like they were favored in this. Two of the best teams in the entire state, regardless of classification, and they've just too much to overcome.
Yeah, it's really hard to accomplish what they would have been able to accomplish, and that would be a huge upset because 4A is the most difficult classification in the entire GHSA, and when you have teams like Allatoona and Blessed Trinity, it has players that are going to be signing with Georgia Tech and Georgia and Kennesaw State, and you think about the plethora of talent they have up there in the North Metro Atlanta area over there in Allatoona. I'm very familiar with that area because I'm actually from Ackworth, so I know that Allatoona, they have just a great facility over there at Lake Point Arena over there in Emerson, and then Blessed Trinity right there out of Roswell. I mean, the talent up in the North Metro Atlanta area is just incredible. And
unreal, man.
Yeah, it is absolutely unreal. Etowah is a team that's going to win the state championship for 6A. They're out of Woodstock, Georgia. So, yeah, there's a lot of great talent up there. And I think Northside, Harris County, both young teams that will be back. They're going to compete. I mean, they're going to tack up a lot of wins because, I think talent-wise, they are some of the best in our area. But you're talking 4A baseball. We're talking Stars Mill lost. You still have North Oconee alive. Marist is a powerhouse. We had Central Carrollton go down. This is like some great baseball in 4A, and they just ran into the better teams.
Yep, they did, man. And it is what it is. That's what happens, dude. And it just got to chop it up to, look, we played a better team. That's the end of discussion. Not that you got outplayed. You get outplayed. I don't think you got really outcoached. I just think you just played a juggernaut, and that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, Richard, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back from break, we got a new hire at Columbus State for the AD, which we'll be having an exclusive interview coming up in the not-too-distant future, Rich. We also got a new hire at Central. They hired their new basketball coach. And Columbus United FC also made a huge announcement. We're going to talk about all those and more, and then we'll wrap it up with some unsolicited hot take right here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this. Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to partner with one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock. And without this partnership, it would be hard to be able to live stream all the different sporting events at high schools, colleges, and local professional teams every single week like we do. So we thank Buffalo Rock for their support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast, make sure you're drinking a nice, refreshing Pepsi. Delicious. Thank you to Buffalo Rock and Pepsi.
Here they come. Truckloads of fresh inventory to Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $13,250 off. New GMC Terrains, the popular SUV known for its safety, technology, and performance, is discounted up to $7,500 off. Enjoy. No payments until July. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
I feel like I'm in an 80s movie right now with that background music. Like I'm about to go and start fighting the bad guy right now. But thank you to Glenn Smith. Thank you to Buffalo Rock. Thank you to Gordy Eye Care. And, of course, Kinetic Credit Union. All right, Rich, a couple things we're going to go into. Let's first start with the big news from Columbus United FC. I'm going to let you do that as you are the voice for Columbus United FC this year. So, Big Rich, if you don't mind, kind of break the news on where they're going to be playing their games this year. How about that?
Thank you, Thrift. All right. Columbus United FC is going to be playing their home games at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium, which is a perfect venue because it's right there with the Columbus Civic Center.
The internet's immaculate. The internet's immaculate.
Internet's immaculate.
The internet's immaculate. Sorry, I had to say that 3 times. I love having good internet.
Tailgating as well. I think that is going to be huge. You talk about their home opener last year, 2,000 fans at Kinnett Stadium, which in North Columbus, kind of hard to get to, especially if you're down in South Columbus. But it's a centralized location. It's where everything's at. And this is great if you are a soccer fan, A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium, the home for Columbus United FC, and the opener is going to be May the 17th. I cannot wait for that. And, we got you covered, as Georgia Alabama Sports Live is the official flagship live streaming for Columbus United.
Yep, and Richard, you'll be on the call for that as well. And give us a quick little preview, because we're going to be having our new show, Richard, which I'll let you say the name here in just a moment of the name of that new show. And we're going to have on Brett Teach, JD, Eleni Hitchcock as well, who's a part of the staff over at Columbus United FC. I want to shout out my cousin too, Paxton Bush, who's part of game day operations. So cannot wait for this upcoming season. Brett Teach is back. Thank you to Coach Teach. Yes. Can't wait to have him on. So talk about the show, and Rich, talk about kind of set the stage on the league they're playing in, and kind of what are some of the things you're expecting real quick if you can.
Well, they're in a new league. So last year they were in the NPSL, which is the National Premier League, and they were Gulf South champions, and they were 4 of 92 teams that made it all the way.
And actually won a few games too.
Yes, they did. But now they decided, because they wanted to play a lot of closer teams like Dothan United. We got Montgomery United FC. We've got a team in Birmingham. We got a team in Athens, a team in Tennessee. They moved to the USL 2. Now, the league is still, it's still the same like tier of league. It's just a lot more regional teams. They still have over 90 some odd teams all around the country.
Yeah, I know, and I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. And by the way, just threw it up there, Richard, talk about the new show we'll be having starting weekly coming up either this week. We potentially could have it this week, but if not, for sure next week as the season starts. Home opener. Go ahead and say when that is, Richard. Give us all the update information you can on what's going on with Columbus United FC moving forward on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
All right, so what we would like to do is, with the season starting in May, we would like to have a weekly show called Columbus United FC Soccer Talk. We've already had a couple of episodes with one of the owners, J.D. Hester. We also had Michael Hitchcock and the other owner on, and then the new general manager, Eleni Hitchcock. We've had those guests, but we're hoping to have Coach Brett Teach on, maybe your cousin, Paxton Bush, because he is the director of operations. Yeah, and I know it's going to be just an exciting time if you are a Columbus United FC fan. Remember, the game that's going to be the home opener will be May the 17th against Tennessee SC, and that is going to be at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. We don't have a time yet. I'm guessing that it's going to be close to 7. It might be 7:05, 7:10 start time, but they're getting several players that are coming back, including Columbus Blue Devil Ryan Collins, who is one of the top goalkeepers, and Evans Defa, who was on the team last year. I'm actually looking down the roster. I mean, they got some new faces, but they also got some players that like Bryce Screws. They've had Haitham Abadella, the former Columbus Rapid player, Ida Ricardin from Morocco. They got some of their teammates back. But then you got a player like Jonathan Canagua who got promoted. He's in another top tier. It's really, you got to look at this as like minor league baseball. This is the developmental stages for these soccer players that could be future MLS players. And so that's really what Columbus United FC is here for. There's a lot of soccer talent, not just in Columbus, but in the surrounding areas and internationally too. We've got some international players that play with Columbus United FC.
Yeah, we do, Richard. So I can't wait for it. I know you're excited about it, and we potentially could be adding a broadcaster to a part of our Columbus United FC soccer talk. So can't wait for that, a female presence that we've been desperately wanting, a part of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live team. So I'm excited about that news that'll be coming up here in the future as well. So, all right, that is our Columbus United FC talk, Richard. Glad that we were able to get the news out there. Again, they're going to be playing their games at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. I know you're excited about that. The history prestige. It's also downtown near the Clingstones. It's just a lot happening. You got at Columbus United FC. You'll have the Lions, and you're going to have the Clingstones all going on at the same time in that area. I don't know if they all four play on the same time. I'm looking at the schedule. All three play on the same day. I don't think they do, Richard.
They don't.
Because I don't know. Columbus United FC plays on the 2 days the Lions do not play. So they don't, which is good for us because that would have been overwhelming. But we're still cheering them on, all three of those teams, and we're glad that specifically the Lions and Columbus United FC has made Georgia Alabama Sports Live their home. All right, now let's talk about Columbus State, Richard, and the Columbus State Cougars, and keep it up with CSU Athletics. They hired a new AD. Rich, I don't know if you noticed that or not. Kind of went under the radar. Now, I know they got a news press conference coming up in the future, but we're going to be doing a sit-down interview with the new AD exclusively. We'll be at the press conference next Tuesday, Richard, but we also are excited about being there for the press conference, and then eventually we want to be able to get him down for a sit-down interview. So this has been a search that's been going on since January, Richard, and now it is finally coming to fruition. They have finally hired their new AD, which we are excited about. His coming from Lenoir-Rhyne University. His name is Justin Hay. He was at Lenoir-Rhyne University in Hickory, North Carolina. He served as the deputy athletic director for external relations. He was a big fundraiser there. He's a baseball guy, but also loves basketball. He says, my family and I are thrilled to join the Columbus community, and we're ready to make this our new home and contribute both on and off campus in meaningful ways. We talked about this on the Sports Vision Morning Show. By the way, tune in to me and DJ Jones and yourself, Richard, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sports Vision's 92.1 FM. We said, listen, embrace the community, and I promise you the community will embrace you back. And that's kind of where I feel like the last couple of years, the community part of fans wanting to go in support of Columbus State kind of been lack thereof. Now, this year with the basketball teams both being relevant, it was a packed out house, especially with the men's program that was hosting that first and second round of the NCAA tournament. So with that being said, I fully expect Richard, and the quarterfinals, they host all three. I fully expect, actually it was the first, second, and Sweet 16. The quarterfinals were held at a neutral location. I fully expect this guy to come in. I'm excited. Don't know much about him other than he's coming from Lenoir-Rhyne University, and they've been a really good athletic program. Wasn't the AD there, but was right underneath the AD and was a big part of why they raised a lot of money and how successful they were. So can't wait to find out more about Justin Hay and what he's going to do for Columbus State University and help and elevate the community part of it around here in Columbus.
Yeah, he's walking into a great situation, an area that has some of the top-notch facilities in the entire state. When we're talking about the Lumpkin Center, Burger King Stadium, Ragsdale Field, an incredible state-of-the-art baseball complex for college baseball, Cougar Field for softball, the Walden Soccer Complex. You can't beat that soccer complex when it comes to facilities, and great athletic teams in pretty much all classifications. Like right now, the baseball and softball teams are in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. We got golf and tennis wrapping up. And, of course, we know about girls soccer, women's soccer, as they always get at least to the Final Four just about every year. And then what a season that the Cougars, the Lady Cougars, had for basketball. I think if he's got the right people underneath him, I think that they're just going to take off, and the sky is the limit. And right now, I mean, who knows? They could add more sports. I mean, I would love to see men's soccer at Columbus State. I think LaGrange College has lacrosse. Why can't we bring lacrosse to Columbus State?
Come on. I got an even bigger one. How about football? And I'm talking about not club football. Shout out to Coach Mike Spate. I'm not talking club. I'm talking about being a part of the NCAA and being a Division II football program like Valdosta State. That's where I think Columbus State, if this guy could do that, that could be a legacy-defining game changer. And we've seen it at West Georgia. A rival of Columbus State in years past had a football program. They are now Division I in athletics. Columbus State could get to that point too. If it can happen at West Georgia and Carrollton, why can't it happen in an even bigger city in Columbus at Columbus State University? So I'm hoping high things from this guy. And I've talked to Coach Robert Moore. I've talked to Coach Appleton, they're high on this guy too. They don't know much about him, but they met him, and they say he's very energetic, and he's excited about giving them the resources to be successful this year.
Yeah, can't wait for that sit down to get to know him and to get to know his vision on what he has for the expectations of CSU athletics.
All right, now let's keep moving on as we go from one news headline to the next, Richard. And finally, we have a new head basketball coach of the Central Red Devils. His name is Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, who was drafted in the NBA basketball. He also Steve Rogers also played for Alabama State. And let me pull up his resume here real quickly.
He was
Richard,
also a coach there at Alabama State.
Yeah, so his resume, for one, he played in the NBA, also played at Alabama State, then got drafted to the NBA. He played in the NBA for a few seasons, Richard, before deciding to get into the coaching landscape. So played Alabama State from 89 and 92, was a second-round pick of the New Jersey Nets, and played professionally, not all in the NBA, but played professionally for 11 years. He played for the I don't even want to mispronounce, but he played for teams overseas. I'm not even going to try to pronounce any of these names. So he wasn't ever able to play in the NBA, but he did play overseas, was drafted, and then played 11 years in Europe and was a great player there. In 2005, he got into coaching, was a longtime assistant at Alabama State from 2005 to 2020, and then took over Prattville High School from 2020 until now. Richard, he's done a great job leading Prattville High School. He's had pretty good seasons over the last couple of years. So it's a big-time hire, I think.
Yeah,
a guy that can come in and hopefully take over, I think, one of the biggest jobs in the state in terms of Central High School and the amount of talent that it comes in there year in and year out. And I think especially what we've seen from Coach Burkett, he's left it in a really good spot. So Steve Rogers is the head coach of the Central Red Devils. What do you got, Rich?
Yes, he also coached at Booker T. Washington over there in Tuskegee. But I tell you, he's going into a great situation, and I hope that he keeps all of Coach Burkett's assistants. Coach Ulysses Ford, Coach Terrell Owens, Coach Travis Lindsay. I hope he keeps all of his assistants because they've been fantastic. They're losing a lot of players. Bryce Dawson, Jacoby Hill, Jonah Jones, Willie Townsend. They're all leaving, but you got Jaden Ford there. I think he could still be just a very valuable piece to try to build up something. Or I don't know if Coach Rogers just wants to hire his new staff and to start over from scratch. But they're in a very good situation being in 7A. And you got to remember, Auburn is really good. Opelika improved. Smith Station with Coach Ingersoll is going to get it better and improve. So I'm saying, I hope that he has success. But you're following a legend in Coach Burkett, and before that, Coach Wright. I mean, so the basketball program at Central's really been in a good spot. It's because of the athletic director, Matt Bell, and just Central athletics as a whole.
Yeah, so Steve Rogers is the new head coach of the Central Red Devils, and he'll be taking over that program this upcoming year. So congratulations to him, and we're hoping that we can get him on for an interview here in the not-too-distant future, maybe even get a sit-down with him just like we did with Blair Harrison. So congratulations to Steve Rogers, and good hire by Matt Bell and the Central Red Devils. All right, Rich, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with Unsolicited Hot Take here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible. To be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional team. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back, everyone. It's Unsolicited Hot Take. And, man, we had some hot takes on Sports Vision Morning Show today. We talked about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Go back and listen to that. We had Nebias Wilborn to get into that as well. So if you want to hear what we had to say on that, listen. Obviously, for the guy that's the ultimate micromanager, to have someone that's micromanaging him, this is like – it's hard to believe almost what is happening with him. Cringeworthy interview that just happened. And, honestly, from people – that are close to Bill Belichick, they think this is crazy. And by the way, you know what her email signature line is? Chief Operating Officer of Belichick Productions. That's not even a real company. So she just made herself basically in charge of Bill Belichick. I wonder how his sons feel in this regard as well. So you got this going on. You got the Shannon Sharp debacle case that ESPN just dropped him. I mean, it's all about clicks. It's all about getting the information out there, and that's what's happening right now. And I'll tell you this, for the older guys out there, leave those young girls alone and be careful, because we've seen a lot of guys either putting themselves in bad positions like Shannon or not having a good look like Bill Belichick. So I can't wait to see how the rest of this unfolds. But on the field, I do think Belichick is going to do a good job over at North Carolina. But I wanted to really spend this time, Richard, just basically to talk NBA playoffs is what I wanted to do. That Clippers-Nuggets series is fantastic, and there's just something about, Richard, seeing how everything's playing out for the Nuggets beating the Clippers. I thought whoever won that's going to win the series. Nuggets end up winning it. I really was high on the Clippers. That's who I want to see taking on Oklahoma City, because I'm not a big believer in the coach for the Nuggets and Ottoman this year, but hey, listen, that was a big win, and Nikola Jokic, just like he's a coach that is on the court already. So that was a good game. Tyrese Halliburton's dad should be banned from the rest of the playoffs for what he did. I went back and watched that video again. I cannot stand that crap. Him, T. Morant, what are you doing? Giannis just got beat. He's trying to take it in. He's very frustrated. And you decide as a grown man to get in this guy's face. You didn't play. You had nothing to do with it. And you're saying we did this. I know he's come out and apologized. I don't give a dang about the apology. If you're a grown man, you don't get to make mistakes like that without repercussions. You don't get to chop it up as like, hey, it just happened. No, it doesn't just happen like that. You're making this about you. Same thing with T. Morant. Why? Why do you want to put your son in a negative spotlight? Well, now Tyrese, who hit the game winner, is having to talk about your nonsense. That's BS. Can't stand it. Horrible thing the dad did. Should be banned for the rest of the playoffs. I don't care if you think it's a hot take. You think I'm overreacting. Boo-hoo. Take it somewhere else. You can go talk to someone else about it. That was terrible, Richard. And I don't want to hear an apology. That's a fake apology. Because if you're a grown man, why are you getting in the face of another player? Why are you on the court? They should put him in a suite or not let him come back for the rest of the playoffs. There needs to be some repercussions for this, because this is nonsense that I'm seeing. Why would he feel like he had the right to do that? Why? I cannot stand that, and it makes it's that daddy ball mentality where I get cheering for your kid, but there's a fine line between cheering for your kid and making it about you. That was making it about you. You made that game winner, so I'm going to tell Giannis, Giannis don't even care who you are. He didn't even know you were Tyrese's dad. You're that irrelevant. T. Morant, you're that irrelevant. If it's not for your sons, no one would know who you are. Stop trying to get in the headlines. Cannot stand it. Took away from a great game. Nonsense. That's all I got to say about it. If I'm the NBA, I'm banning him for the rest of the playoffs and letting him come back next year. That's BS.
Wow. What a hot take. And this is why we have this platform. Unsolicited hot take with Thrift Barringer. I was blown away by that hot take. I hope that you got more coming. I'm gonna say just something really quick, and we'll move on to the next topic. I'm a parent of kids who play sports. We had a soccer game yesterday. It was a playoff game. taking on a team that we got pretty much beat. That team is a team that's been together for 3 years. They are a bunch of 12-year-olds. And I admit, I got a little heated because there were some questionable calls, some offside calls. So the refs were kind of they were not swallowing the whistle. They were calling fouls. But it wasn't about me. It was about my daughter and her soccer game. And it makes me sick to see these parents. I thought we were past this. I thought that the LeVar Balls of the world went away. And I admit, I had to put myself in check because I actually yelled out, how is that not offsides? I did. And I caught myself doing it. And then I pulled back and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to, I'm going to make sure I don't act crazy and get thrown out of this soccer game. I mean, you got to keep yourself in check. I mean, it's about just judgment and awareness. And you got to have this as a parent. And it makes me sick that Tyrese Halliburton's dad made it about himself.
Yeah, 100%. It's nonsense. Can't stand it. Upsets me. And that's all I have to say about it. But Pacers took down the Bucks. Bucks are in a very bad situation right now.
They're old.
They can't trade anyone away. No one wants that Kuzma contract. Trash. He's getting paid $20 million trash to be trash. And who's paying $20 million to a trash player? I don't know. I know I wouldn't. So nobody's going to want that. Damian Lillard just hurt his Achilles, and he was already a shell of himself this past couple of seasons, and now he's got to come back from Achilles at 34 years old. Nobody's going to want that contract. Brooke Lopez is over 36, about to be 37 years old. Bobby Portis is okay. They don't have a bench, and they got Doc Rivers. If I'm Giannis, I'm wanting to get traded. If I'm the Bucks, I'm trying to trade Giannis to get some young influx of talent and just rebuild, because if you try to run it back next year, it's just going to turn out even worse for you. Why not ride Giannis hot? And if Giannis, why would you want to waste another year of your prime in this situation in Milwaukee? You got the championship already. You did it. That right there is a feat in itself, to win a championship in Milwaukee. Now go somewhere else and try to move yourself up as a top 10 player of all time, because right now you're not going to be that. So let's see if Giannis can finish out his career strong and see if they're going to get traded. But Pacers win. Expected that. That Pacers Cleveland is a sneaky underrated. If you're an NBA enthusiast like me, I can't wait for it. That's going to be a ton of fun from the coaching standpoint. Kenny Atkinson taking on Rick Carlisle. Tyrese Halliburton going against Donovan Mitchell. Pascal Siakam going against Defensive Player of the Year and Evan Mobley. Are you kidding me? I cannot wait for that. Now, a lot of people are thinking Indiana, Cleveland, who cares? I promise you, those are two of the best teams in the NBA right now. I can't wait for that. The Knicks losing to the Pistons, I think that's going 7. I think the Pistons win in Game 6, and that's going to be a 7-game series, and that is not a good recipe if you're the Knicks, because now you're basically a 5-man roster, and you're playing your guys into the ground like Tom Thibodeau always does, and guess who they got coming up next? Boston, who just obliterated Orlando, and they're moving on. So Orlando's moving on. They're probably going to play Boston's moving on. They're going to end up playing New York. We know we got Indiana and Cleveland. Oklahoma City, we already know, is moving on. And I wouldn't be surprised tonight, Rich, if we see the Warriors and Minnesota clinch their series. Now, I'm going to go Rockets winning and send it to a Game 6, and I'm going to go Lakers winning to send it to a Game 6, but would not be shocked if Minnesota, who has a 3-1 lead, who just looks younger, faster, and bigger than LA right now, wins, and I wouldn't be shocked either if the Rockets win. Nuggets Clippers is the best first-round series. That's going 7. I think the Clippers win at home their next game, and then we're going to see that coming up in the near future. Hopefully, I would like to see Clippers and OKC. All right, Richard, any other thoughts that are going on in the NBA that you want to add on to that, man?
Yeah, the Nuggets getting the job done, and it wasn't Nikola Jokic. It was Jamal Murray with 43 points. If he is hot as he is, and then Michael Porter Jr. with his plus-minus, I think the Nuggets could get to the finals. I think if Jamal Murray plays like that, they beat the Clippers. And if it's Nuggets, OKC in that second round, I think the Nuggets have to be the favorites because they have the experience. This OKC team is very young. Now, if it's Warriors, Timberwolves, because I do think that they close it out tonight, and we're going to have Warriors, Timberwolves. I like the Timberwolves. I think it's going to be Timberwolves, Nuggets over in the Eastern Conference. You're right. I think that Tibbs is driving his team into the ground. That's what he does. He wears out the Knicks in the regular season. If you keep Detroit hanging around, you're going to end up getting swept by the Boston Celtics. At first, I thought, Celtics-Knicks, this is going to be a great series. It's going to go 6 or 7 games. Now the Boston Celtics are going to sweep the Knicks because of the load management that Tom Thibodeau puts on the Knicks. And you're right. I'm looking forward to that Pacers-Cavaliers series. Pacers getting to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Cavaliers losing to Boston last year in the second round. I'm telling you, I know you're a big fan of the NBA. I'm a fan of the NBA with all the headlines that's going on. I do have one thought about the Bucks. That when you were talking about the Bucks and thinking about that they're old and they're going to have to rebuild, because the Eastern Conference is not as strong as the Western Conference, the Bucks couldn't ever tank like the Spurs did. Giannis needs to get another not injury-prone superstar that is not going to get a max contract. I think that if the Milwaukee Bucks were able to go to the lottery, that maybe if Giannis had another superstar along with them, then maybe the Bucks would be relevant. But yeah, I think it's time to blow it up.
Yeah, I think so too, Richard. So make sure to like and subscribe, Rich. We had a lot of fun here tonight. We'll have another show on Sunday. We're going to have on Tony Rasmus because guess what? We're going to be broadcasting, and it's official. Lakeside's back in the AISA State Championship, Richard, and we will be there next Wednesday. Patterson Field, me and you cannot wait for that. Doing the Lakeside State Championship for the legendary Tony Rasmus. So we'll have him on Sunday and whoever else we can think of. So thank y'all so much for watching. And don't go anywhere because coming up next, we got office hours next right here on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live platform. And go to Georgia Independent Athletic Association because me and Rich got to take these shirts off and put on our GIAA shirts because it's time for Inside the GIAA from Barringer. From Richard Holdridge, I'm Barringer saying thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC.